Welcome students to our online classes. Myself Ashwini Honkar is going to explain you the lesson Acids, Bases and Salts part 2. So students, in first part we studied the basic concepts of acid and bases and we completed some portion of this lesson. So let us see what we completed. First of all we saw the index, acids and bases. In that we studied about acids, how the acids will be react on other substance, what acids are present in the food materials, common acids, bases. Then we studied which bases are present in our home, common bases we studied, pH value, pH scale we studied, about indicators we studied. In that we studied litmus paper, China rose. Okay, so now we are going to study about turmeric. So I think you all are familiar about turmeric powder, right? You may have turmeric powder in your home. Your mamas are using that turmeric powder in your food, right? So that turmeric powder is very important because it acts as indicator. What it is? It acts as indicator. So what we will do? We will take turmeric powder. We will make it to be wet and we will apply a layer of turmeric powder on the blank paper and let it to be dry. Okay, so now cut it in a pieces. Cut it in a pieces. Now this turmeric paper act as a litmus paper. It act as a litmus paper. So we can say it as a dried yellow litmus paper. What we can say? Dried yellow litmus paper. So the turmeric paper is then put into the solution. So what we have to do when we will take a litmus paper as a turmeric litmus paper, then we may put that turmeric paper in a solution in order to determine their acidity or alkaline in nature. So we may test this turmeric paper as whether the substance is acidic or basic. Sometimes turmeric solution is also used as an indicator. So we are using turmeric as a indicator. For example, if you take soap powder and if you take this turmeric paper, just put it in a soap water solution, its color turns into red. So what it indicates that that's washing powder contain bases. Okay. Now China rose. So China rose you may have in your garden, right? So this hibiscus flower, especially pink color hibiscus flower is called as a China rose. So China rose means it is not the rose which will take birth in China, country China. No, it is the hibiscus flower and China rose is its scientific name. Yes. So what we have to do? We have to take out any hibiscus flowers petal and put them in a water. Let it to be for some times. Then afterwards the color of hibiscus flower remains in water. It will mix with the water. Then that water we may use as a indicator. We may use it as a indicator. So China rose indicator when reacts with acids it turns into dark pink. It turns into dark pink. So what will happen? China rose indicator. This liquid now we can use it as an indicator and it will turn as a dark pink color when it reacts with acids. And China rose indicator when reacts with bases it turns into green color. It turns into green color. Now see, China rose petals are kept in warm water and a colored solution is obtained from that. This colored solution is used as an indicator to test other substances. Now, so these are some acids and bases are present over here and which effects are there on litmus paper that is given. and effect of turmeric paper is also given, even the China rose. So if we will take for example first one, that is hydrochloric acid. It is available in our science lab. So hydrochloric acid, when we will take blue litmus paper, it turns into red because it is a acid. But when we will take turmeric paper, no reaction will be there. Turmeric paper remains as it is because turmeric paper always react with bases only. It reacts with bases only. But when China rose indicator we will use, it will turn as a dark pink, because we already studied when China rose indicator reacts with acids, it will convert into dark pink, and when it will react with the bases, it will turn into green color. Like this only, if you take sulfuric acid, this is also acid. So blue litmus turns into red, turmeric paper no change, and it will convert into dark pink. So if it is a base like a sodium hydroxide, here red litmus paper turns into blue, then that turmeric indicator turns into red, and China rose indicator turns into green. Now we are going to study about neutralization reaction. So what is neutralization reaction? So neutralization is a process or a chemical reaction in which an acidic or basic substance is mixed with each other in order to neutralize their acidic and alkaline nature. So what will happen when, if we have some amount of acid, we will mix it with a some bases, then it will become neutral. It will become neutral. So that reaction or the neutralization reaction, this is called as a neutralization reaction, because there we are decreasing the acidity of the substance or the basic nature of the substance. The product that is formed after the neutralization process is called a salt. It's called a salt. So the reaction also we are writing in scientific way, that when acid plus base will be mixed, it will give salt as well as water. It will give salt and water. The salt can have a basic, acidic or neutral nature. So here we can't say the salt is either acidic or basic or neutral. It may be acidic, it may be basic, or it may be neutral also. The neutralization process results in the generation of heat which rises the temperature of the reacting mixture. So when we will mix an acid with a base, there is some amount of heat also releases. A synthetic indicator often used for testing neutralization reaction is phenolphthalein solution. It is a pink in color. So as we are using litmus paper, rose indicate that China rose indicator, turmeric indicator, like this also a scientific indicator is present which is not natural. It is artificial indicator, and we may call it as, its name is phenolphthalein. What we will call it as phenolphthalein indicator. Next, when an acid is added to phenolphthalein solution, the solution turns colorless, indicating the process of an acid, indicating the presence of an acid. So what will happen when an acid is added to phenolphthalein solution? The solution turns colorless, indicating the presence of an acid. Okay. Now, when a base is added to phenolphthalein solution, the solution retains its pink color, indicating the presence of base. So here pink color is what? That is phenolphthalein indicator. So when it will mix with acid, it turns into colorless, and when it will mix with a base, it remains as it is. So this is the general formula, as we studied, that when acid is mixed with a base, it will give water and salt. It will give what? Water and salt. For example, when hydrochloric acid, we are indicating it as a HCl. How we are indicating? HCl. So when hydrochloric acid is mixed with a sodium hydroxide is indicating with NaOH. NaOH. So when sodium hydroxide or hydrochloric acid is mixed with the sodium hydroxide, it will gives water and salt. So NaCl, which we are eating the salt, that is indicating with the sodium chloride. It is called as a sodium chloride. So we are indicating it with the NaCl. So let us see another one example. HNO3, that is nitric acid plus potassium hydroxide gives water and potassium nitrate. Water and potassium nitrate. Now we are going to study about natural reaction, that is acid rain. That is what? Acid rain. So students, we already familiar with a rain, right? We are familiar with rain. So acid rain means what? There will be acid is comes with the rain or what? No, not like this. In the nature, as we shown some reaction, in the nature also some reactions are going on, and that reactions makes to create the acids, and that acids mix with the rainwater, and that comes as a acid rain. That comes as what? Acid rain. When the rainwater has increased amounts of acids in it, it is called as a acid rain. So it is called as a what? Acid rain. The acid rain is formed because of the presence of air pollutants such as a nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide in the air. So how these pollutants will come? Nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, how they are coming in our nature? Because we are using vehicles, electrical electrical materials, fridges, washing machines, air coolers, right? So these all are producing carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, right? So these all things are coming from the materials which we are using, like soap, deodorants. Yes, even it will comes more of the time by the burning of the things, even by the using more vehicles. Yes. Now these pollutants mix with the rainwater and form acids such as a nitric acid, sulfuric acid and carbonic acid. So what will happen? Nitrogen dioxide forms nitric acid, carbon dioxide forms carbonic acid and sulfur dioxide forms sulfuric acid. So it will mix with the air. So what is present in air? Oxygen. It is present in a air. Oxygen is present in air. So these all materials mix with the air and they forms nitric acid, sulfuric acid and carbonic acid respectively. The acid rain is severely affect the vegetation, animal life and even buildings of the region where it falls. So what will happen? When acid rain will be there, there will be a burning sensation in vegetation. Whatever crops are there, fields are there, it will be lost from that peoples. Even it will damages most of the things of your surrounding. It may kill the animals, even the human beings, even birds, everything. So the acid rain is severely affect the vegetation, animals life and even buildings of the region where it falls. So even building also damages with the help of acid rain. So you can see over here the factories, vehicles, that all are polluting our nature, and that goes in the nature. It will mix with the air and it will falls as a acid rain. Now, acids are never stored in metal container. Why? See, this is the reason, and this is very important concept, that acids are never stored in metal container. Why? Because they are rather stored in glass container. This is so because acids are generally reactive in nature. Acids are generally reactive in nature, because if you take a little bit amount of acid in your hand, your hand starts burning, right? It starts burning. Then if you just put it a strong acid on a paper, the paper get burning. If we keep them in a metal container, they may react with the metal and erode them. So you may see that iron, when we will keep it in a air, that will be that will convert into brown powder form. So that is also type of acid reaction. Glass, on the other hand, does not react with acid at all. So what will happen? We are not supposed to keep acids in the metal things, metal containers. Rather than that, if we will put that acid in a glass sheet or glass container, it will not react at all. Now we are going to study about neutralization reaction in everyday life. So what is neutralization reaction? What is neutralization reaction? The reaction where acid is mixed with a base and to neutralize the acidity. To neutralize the acidity. So, first one is in that indigestion. So, indigestion means sometimes we are eating the food and it will not digest properly in our stomach, right? So, we know that our stomach produces hydrochloric acid which helps in the digestion of food, right? So, in the last class, in the last year, we studied that how the digestion process is going on in our stomach, mouth, and esophagus, everywhere, right? That, but sometimes the stomach releases too much of acid which leads to indigestion or sometimes hyperacidity. So what will happen? That hydrochloric acid may release in more amount, because why it will happen? Because of not eating food in proper time, in particular time. One day eating in 1 o'clock, second day at 4 o'clock, third day again at 2 o'clock. So if your timing is not proper, the hydrochloric acid may secrete at any time and it leads to hypersecretion of hydrochloric acid, and sometimes you may undergo for the indigestion. So, how what will happen in your stomach? So, indigestion makes the burning sensation in our stomach. What will do? It will makes a burning sensation in our stomach. Hence, we need to neutralize this acid by taking substances that are basic in nature, commonly known as antacids. So, what are antacids? This is one antacid, that is milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia. This is the liquid paraffin and it contains sodium picosport. That is the one of neutralized reaction. One of basic substance which make the indigestion in the normal form. For example, you can see that milk of magnesia is a basic substance that can neutralize the acid of the stomach. Now the next one is ant bite. So students, sometime what will happen? The ants will bite on our head and it will swallow. It will swallow and it will burn with a red color. It will burn with a red color because the ant sting also contain acid. The ant sting also contain acid. This is the ant and its sting also contain acid, right? So what will happen? See, the irritation of the skin due to ant bite is caused because of the presence of formic acid that the ant injects in the skin while biting. So what the ant contain? It contain formic acid. It contain what? Formic acid. So when it will bite on your hand or somewhere else, it injects that acid in your body, right? Next, so how it will be burned? It will look like this after that. A red color swallowed thing, right? Now next, hence we use a basic substance to neutralize the effect. So what basic substance we can use? Baking soda. It may present in your home because your mamas are keeping baking soda for cooking purpose. Then hydrogen carbonate, calamine solution or zinc carbonate are generally used for treat ant bite. So students, sometimes if you take an if an ant will bite you, suddenly put a baking soda, then irritation will be decreased. Now next is soil treatment. So this is the basic thing. When the soil will more acidic, we are using base. The soil is more basic, we are using acids. Right? So plants need a soil which is neutral in nature, but using chemical fertilizers on soil can turn it into acidic. So sometimes we need more crops, for that purpose we are using fertilizers. So it is very wrong. If you are using, then also it should be in less amount. But when we will use more fertilizers, the soil becomes more acidic. To make that soil basic, we are using some basic substance, right? To treat the acidic soil, we use quick lime. We use quick lime, that is calcium oxide, or slacked lime, that is calcium hydroxide. We may use calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide, right? Basic soil can be treated by adding organic substance to it, as they release acids while decomposing into the soil. So when the soil is acidic, we are using calcium oxide or calcium hydroxide, and when the acid is basic, we are using acidic substance in the decomposing of the soil. So next is factory waste. So much more waste of factories coming out every day in the ton, and the loads in the tractors. The factory wastes are coming in the in the factory waste is acidic in nature and cannot be directly dumped anyway. So, a acid is very acidic. So, factory waste is very acidic. So, we cannot dump it anyway. Hence, the bases are added to it before it falls off into a river or stream, so that the aquatic life does not get affected. So, what will happen when acidic substance will be there? We are mixing bases. If a basic substance is there, then we are mixing some amount of acid to make it neutralize. Yes, now thank you.